Welcome to another deep dive. Today we're going to be like a kind of time traveling, through history and culture in this fascinating country, Turkey. So yeah, get ready for some aha moments. We're going to be going beyond the typical touristy stuff and unearth what makes Turkey unique.
Yeah, so what I find really captivating about Turkey is that it bridges two worlds, literally.
Right.
Like geographically, it bridges Europe and Asia, and that's really reflected in every aspect of like their identity, from their history and the ancient ruins to the economy today.
Okay, so let's start unpacking this.
Okay.
And I have to ask about like the name, Turkey. What's the story? I know the source material touches on like this whole name change thing.
Right, so it's really a story about reclaiming their narrative.
Okay.
In 2021, President Erdogan officially declared that Turkey would be the name used internationally.
So it's more than just getting rid of like the bird association.
Exactly. It's about like shedding any colonial connotations, really presenting themselves on their own terms. They want to be seen as the inheritors of a rich legacy and complex legacy, not just, a Thanksgiving dinner staple.
Right. Speaking of legacy, the source material mentions this place called Göbekli Tepe. That sounds like something out of like an Indiana Jones movie.
Not like rewriting, the history books, right?
Completely.
Göbekli Tepe, located in modern-day Turkey, is unbelievably old. I mean, we're talking like estimated to be over 11,500 years old. That predates Stonehenge, the pyramids, practically everything we thought we knew about early civilizations.
Hold on. Even older than the pyramids?
Yes.
Okay, so what's so groundbreaking about that?
It really challenges our entire understanding of it, how societies developed. Göbekli Tepe shows that like sophisticated religious practices and like monumental architecture existed before humans even settled down into agriculture.
Wow.
It's like finding a smartphone in a caveman's toolkit that just like, completely upends the timeline.
So, okay, that is like seriously shifting my perspective of like early humans.
Yeah.
So we've got ancient temples rewriting history. What else makes Turkey like such a historical hotspot?
Well, fast forward a few millennia, right? And you got the Battle of Manzikert in 1071, and this was a major like power shift because the Seljuk Turks defeated the mighty Byzantine Empire.
Oh, wow.
And this victory really like opened the door for the Turks to settle in Anatolia, leading to the eventual decline and fall of the Byzantine Empire.
Empires rising and falling. You can practically feel like the echoes of those battles in Turkey today.
Yeah.
And then, of course, there's like the empire that really put Turkey on the map.
The Ottomans.
Ah, yes, the Ottomans. Their rise to power is like a historical epic, spanning centuries. From like really humble beginnings. They expanded to control a vast territory across southeastern Europe, Western Asia, and North Africa.
Yep.
And their conquest of Constantinople in 1453, I mean, that has got to be like one of the most iconic moments in history.
Yeah.
Like it's just like the end of an era and the birth of another.
Exactly. And it wasn't just about military might, though. The Ottomans, they were known for advancements in art, architecture, law. They transformed Constantinople into their capital, Istanbul, which quickly became a vibrant hub of trade and culture and learning. Imagine like the bustling markets, mosques and palaces, even the intellectual exchanges happening in the coffee houses. It was a true melting pot of civilizations.
That's amazing. And get this, the source material mentions that they even like had some influence in like Southeast Asia, which I would have never guessed.
Yeah, it's true.
Wow.
The Ottomans had dealings with the Ayyubi Sultanate, which was like a powerful Islamic kingdom in present-day Indonesia. They even provided military support to Asa against European colonial powers, like the Portuguese.
Okay, my head is spinning a little bit, trying to like grasp the sheer scope of the Ottoman Empire.
Yeah.
So we've got ancient temples, epic battles, an empire that like touched 3 continents. What happens next in this historical saga?
Well, even empires have their, twilight years.
Right.
And the Ottomans' involvement in World War I on the losing side proved to be like their undoing.
Oh, wow.
They faced defeat and the threat of being carved up by the victorious allies. And so a new wave of Turkish nationalism emerged.
This is where Mustafa Kemal Ataturk comes in, right?
Yes.
He's like often compared to George Washington, like the father of modern Turkey.
Yeah, that's a fitting comparison. Ataturk was this like brilliant military commander who rose to prominence during the Gallipoli campaign. He led the Turkish War of Independence, rallying the nation against the occupying forces. And by 1922, they'd miraculously repelled the Allies, which defied all odds.
Wow, what a comeback story. From the brink of collapse to this, like, triumphant victory for independence.
It's really a testament to the resilience of the Turkish people.
Yeah.
And with the Sultanate abolished, a new era began on October 29, 1923, the Republic of Turkey, with Ankara as its capital.
And that's when Ataturk, like the newly elected president, really started to make his mark, right?
Yeah.
I mean, his name literally means Father of the Turks, which is like a pretty big title to live up to.
He really earned that title. You know, Ataturk was a visionary leader who embarked on these like radical reforms, you know, to modernize Turkish society. He implemented secular laws, introduced a new alphabet, championed women's rights, all in an effort to create, you know, a nation that could stand shoulder to shoulder with the West.
Wow. That's like a huge shift.
Yeah.
Going from a centuries-old empire to like a modern republic almost overnight. It makes you wonder, like, how did people even react to such drastic changes?
I mean, it was a tumultuous period, no doubt.
Right.
There was resistance from those clinging to, like, tradition, but ultimately Ataturk's vision prevailed. And the republic he founded has endured for, like, over a century now.
Right.
Which is really a testament to his lasting impact.
Wow, what a whirlwind tour through Turkish history.
Yeah.
I mean, from ancient civilizations to a modern republic. It's clear that Turkey has, like, always been at a crossroads, you know, the place where East meets West and tradition clashes with modernity.
Yeah, and that tension, that like constant negotiation between the past and the present is really what continues to shape their identity today. It's what makes it so dynamic, so complex, so fascinating.
Speaking of complex, let's talk about Turkey's relationship with the European Union, because the source material mentions that they've been trying to join for like ages, but it hasn't been smooth sailing.
Yeah, their relationship with the EU is like, you know, a delicate dance.
Oh, yeah.
Turkey first applied for associate membership like way back in 1959 and actually became an associate member in 1963.
Wow.
They've been knocking on the door for decades, but the path to full membership has been riddled with obstacles.
And like a lot of that comes down to the Cyprus issue,
Yeah,
right? Like
yeah.
it's like this thorn in the side of their relationship.
It's a major sticking point for sure.
Yeah.
The division of Cyprus, you know, between Greek Cypriots and Turkish Cypriots, and along with Turkey's military intervention back in 1974, remains a source of tension. You see, the EU recognizes the Republic of Cyprus as the sole legitimate authority on the island,
Okay.
while Turkey supports the Turkish Republic of Northern Cyprus, which only Turkey recognizes.
So it's like this geopolitical knot that's been hard to untangle. And it sounds like Turkey has like a lot on its plate internationally, not just with the EU, but with its like neighbors as well.
Absolutely. I mean, you have to think about it. Turkey shares borders with some of the most volatile regions in the world. The Caucasus, the Middle East, the Balkans. Navigating these relationships is a real high-wire act. It's essential for, you know, Turkey's security and stability.
Right. It's like they're constantly like juggling multiple diplomatic balls in the air.
Right.
And speaking of juggling, the source material also highlights like some pretty wild economic ups and downs in like recent decades.
Yeah.
Booming industries, financial crises, a tourism sector that's just like absolutely taken off.
Yeah.
It's a lot to keep track of.
Yeah, Turkey's economic story is like a roller coaster, you know?
Yeah.
They've faced their share of challenges, but they've also, you know, shown incredible resilience, a real knack for bouncing back.
Okay, let's break down like this economic roller coaster. What were some of like the major dips they've had to navigate?
Well, the 2001 financial crisis was a major blow. I mean, they were dealing with hyperinflation, a banking crisis, a currency that was like plummeting in value.
Oh, wow.
It was a real wake-up call, you know, forcing them to like reevaluate their economic policies and implement some much-needed reforms.
So like they hit rock bottom.
Yeah.
But what happened next? Did those reforms like actually work?
You bet they did. The government, they really focused on stabilizing the economy, taming inflation, attracting foreign investment, and the results were impressive. They entered this like period of sustained growth. GDP was expanding rapidly and new industries were flourishing.
And this is where Istanbul, with its like skyscrapers and like bustling business districts, comes into play, right?
Yeah.
Because, I mean, the source material mentions that in 2008, Istanbul had 35 billionaires, which put it like fourth in the world in terms of billionaire residents. That's some serious wealth concentrated in one city.
Yeah, Istanbul is like the economic engine of Turkey. You know, it's a global hub for finance, trade, and tourism. It's attracting investors and entrepreneurs from all over the world. You could think of it as, you know, Turkey's version of New York City.
Yeah.
This is a place where, you know, ambition and opportunity collide.
And it's not just Istanbul. Like, the source material also emphasizes that Turkey has like a diverse economy.
Right.
Like, they're not just reliant on one sector, right?
Right.
Manufacturing, agriculture, technology. They seem to have their fingers in a lot of pies.
Exactly. They've got that strategic location, you know, bridging east and west, which gives them like a unique advantage in international trade. And plus, you know, they've been actively cultivating a knowledge-based economy.
Yeah.
Investing in, you know, education and research to boost their competitiveness in fields like biotechnology and renewable energy.
It's like they're building a bridge to the future.
Yeah.
Both literally and figuratively.
Exactly.
And let's not forget about tourism. It was fascinating to learn that Turkey is the 6th most visited country in the world. That has got to be a major economic boost, right?
Yeah, it's a testament to Turkey's, you know, multifaceted appeal. I mean, from the stunning beaches of Antalya to the ancient ruins of Ephesus to the vibrant bazaars of Istanbul. I mean, there's something for everyone.
Yeah.
And they've managed to capitalize on their rich history and diverse culture and natural beauty to create a tourism industry that's truly thriving.
It's giving me like serious wanderlust, just like hearing you describe it all. But before we get carried away with like travel plans,
Okay.
let's bring it back to the economic realities.
Yeah.
Because the source material also highlights some challenges that they're still grappling with.
Of course. No economy is without its hurdles.
Right.
One persistent issue is, you know, unemployment.
Okay.
Even with the economic growth they've had, they've struggled to create enough jobs, particularly for young people.
Yeah.
And in certain regions of the country.
Yeah, I imagine that can lead to like some frustration, especially like for people who feel left behind by the economic boom, you know?
Exactly. And then, you know, there's the ongoing battle with inflation.
Right.
While it's been, you know, brought under control compared to the early 2000s, it still erodes purchasing power, impacting everyday people. You know, it's a constant balancing act for the government trying to, like, stimulate growth while keeping inflation in check.
It's a reminder that economic progress doesn't always benefit everyone equally. And speaking of inequality, the source material mentioned this, like, concerning statistic about literacy rates being, like, lower for women.
Yeah.
Especially in rural areas.
Sadly, that's just a reflection of, like, deep-rooted societal issues.
Mm-hmm.
While Turkey has made progress in, like, education overall, there are still, you know, pockets, particularly in the Southeast, where these traditional patriarchal attitudes prevail. And these attitudes just limit opportunities for women and girls, you know?
Yeah.
Which ultimately hinders the country's overall development.
It's like a stark reminder that economic indicators don't always tell the whole story.
Yeah.
There are human stories behind those numbers, and sometimes those stories reveal uncomfortable truths about, like, social inequalities.
It's about recognizing that progress isn't linear or uniform. You know?
Right.
While Turkey has achieved like remarkable economic growth, they still face these significant challenges in making sure that progress is inclusive and benefits all segments of society.
And it's not just limited to like gender inequality, right?
Right.
The source material also touches upon like concerns about labor practices,
Yeah.
particularly child labor, like in sectors like agriculture. I mean, that's a tough reality to like grapple with.
It's a very complex issue, and it's intertwined with poverty, cultural norms, and lack of, you know, access to education.
Mm-hmm.
Some argue that small family farms, you know, fall outside the purview of labor laws, while others call for like stricter enforcement and better economic opportunities for families so they're not forced to rely on child labor.
It's a reminder that like behind the economic statistics and the glossy tourist brochures, there are real human struggles.
Yeah.
But even with these challenges, Turkey seems to be pushing forward, constantly adapting and evolving.
Absolutely. It's a country that isn't afraid to confront its problems. You know,
Yeah.
they're constantly seeking solutions, experimenting with new approaches, and striving to create a better future.
So we've gone from like ancient civilizations to modern economic complexities.
Yeah.
And it's clear that Turkey's story is like far from over. And if its history is any indication, I mean, the next chapter promises to be just as eventful and fascinating.
And that's what makes Turkey so captivating. You know, it's
Yeah.
this country in constant motion, always striving, always evolving, always finding its place in a rapidly changing world. It's a story that's still being written.
Absolutely.
You know, we've talked a lot about empires and economies, but
Right.
what about, like, the human side of Turkey?
Yeah.
What's it like to actually live there, to experience the culture firsthand?
Right. Let's like zoom in from the big picture to street level, you know?
Yeah.
What are some of the things that make Turkish culture so unique and vibrant?
Well, one thing that like immediately strikes you is the importance of, you know, family and community.
Okay.
Turkish society is deeply relational, and family bonds are incredibly strong.
That makes sense considering their history. I mean, close-knit communities often provide like a sense of stability and support, especially in times of upheaval.
Exactly. Extended families are common, and people often live near their relatives,
Yes.
offering each other like this network of support. It's really a beautiful thing to witness.
Yeah.
That sense of, you know, interconnectedness and shared responsibility.
It's like a built-in safety net.
Yeah.
You know, like a sense of belonging that goes beyond the individual. And the source material also highlights hospitality as like a key element of Turkish culture.
Oh, their hospitality is legendary.
Really?
You'll never leave a Turkish home empty-handed or, you know, with an empty stomach. They're incredibly welcoming and generous,
Wow.
always eager to share their culture and traditions with guests.
So Turkish delight isn't just a sweet treat, it's like a way of life.
Exactly.
Okay. I'm picturing myself like being welcomed into a Turkish home, sipping strong tea, enjoying some delicious food, and, you know, engaging in some lively conversation.
You got the right idea. You
Wow.
know, they truly value those personal connections and creating a warm and welcoming atmosphere.
I'm also curious about like the pace of life. Is it as like hectic and fast-paced as some of the big cities we're used to, or is there like a different rhythm to daily life in Turkey?
It really depends on where you are, you see.
Oh.
In, you know, bustling metropolises like Istanbul or Ankara, life moves at a pretty frenetic pace,
Right.
much like any major global city. But if you venture out into the smaller towns and villages, you'll find a more relaxed, almost like timeless rhythm.
So it's a mix of like urban dynamism and rural tranquility. It sounds like Turkey offers a bit of both worlds, which is like appealing. And what about traditions and customs? Like what are some things that might surprise visitors to Turkey?
Well, one tradition that often catches visitors off guard is the Nezar Bonkuku,
Okay.
or the evil eye bead.
Oh, I've seen those like striking blue eyes shaped amulets.
Yes.
They're everywhere, like hanging in homes, shops, even worn as jewelry. I always thought they were just decorative, but there's like a whole belief system behind them.
Yeah, it's this deeply ingrained superstition, you know, a tradition that's been passed down through generations. And people genuinely believe in the power of the evil eye to protect them from harm.
Wow.
You might even see someone making a hand gesture to ward off the evil eye if they receive a compliment or praise.
That's fascinating. It shows how like ancient beliefs can coexist alongside modernity, you know,
Yeah,
adding this layer of mystique to like everyday life.
exactly. And then there's the tradition of hammam,
Okay.
or the Turkish bath.
I've heard about Turkish baths. They sound incredibly relaxing, rejuvenating, like
Yeah.
a full sensory experience.
They truly are. You know, it involves steaming, scrubbing, and massage, often in these beautifully ornate surroundings. It's a tradition that dates back to like the Roman era and remains an integral part of Turkish culture today.
I can see why it's endured for so long. It's like a spa day combined with like a cultural immersion. Definitely something I'd want to try to get a taste of, like authentic Turkish life.
And speaking of taste, we can't forget about Turkish coffee. Oh, it's this like strong, flavorful brew. It's an integral part of, you know, social gatherings and daily rituals.
I've heard it's like famously strong, served in those like small, intricately decorated cups,
Yeah.
and it's served with like the grounds in the cup.
That's right. And there's even a tradition of fortune telling
Right.
by reading like the patterns left by the coffee grounds in the cup after you finish drinking. It's a fun and lighthearted way to end a meal or, you know, a social visit.
Okay, now I'm really intrigued. Strong coffee and fortune telling. Sign me up. But beyond the coffee rituals, I'm also curious about like Turkish cuisine in general. What are some like must-try dishes for someone like exploring Turkish flavors for the first time?
Oh, Turkish cuisine is a culinary adventure.
Okay.
It's incredibly diverse and flavorful with influences from all the different cultures that have passed through the region. You got everything from, succulent kebabs, which come in countless varieties, to pied, which is like a Turkish-style pizza with, savory toppings. And then there's dolma, stuffed grape leaves or vegetables, and of course the irresistible baklava.
Oh, yeah.
That sweet and decadent pastry made with layers of phyllo dough, nuts, and honey.
My mouth is watering just hearing you describe all that. It sounds like a feast for the senses.
It truly is. Turkish cuisine is a delicious way to experience the country's, rich cultural heritage.
I'm starting to get a sense of why Turkey is such a popular tourist destination.
Yeah.
It's like this perfect storm of history and culture and natural beauty and incredible food.
And let's not forget the warmth and hospitality of the people. That's what truly makes a visit to Turkey special. It's a country that stays with you long after you've left.
So we've covered a lot of ground here.
Yeah.
From ancient history to modern economics and even delved into the heart of Turkish culture. But there's one area I'm still kind of curious about. Their approach to science and technology. Have they made any notable contributions in those fields?
Absolutely. Turkey has a long history of scientific and technological innovation dating back to, the Ottoman era. And in recent decades, they've made some pretty impressive strides in fields like medicine, engineering, and even space exploration.
Wait, space exploration? I had no idea Turkey had a space program.
They do. The Turkish Space Agency was established in 2018.
Wow.
And they've set these ambitious goals, including sending a Turkish astronaut into space and developing, their own satellite launch capabilities. It's really a testament to their commitment to pushing the boundaries of scientific advancement.
That's remarkable. It shows that they're not just looking back at their rich history, but also looking forward to a future.
Yeah.
Where they're active participants in cutting edge scientific endeavors.
Yeah.
Are there any specific achievements in science or technology that stand out to you?
Well, one shining example is the work of Turkish scientist Aziz Sankar, who was awarded the Nobel Prize in Chemistry in 2015 for his groundbreaking research on DNA repair mechanisms. His discoveries have really significantly advanced our understanding of how cells protect themselves from damage, and they've opened up new avenues for cancer treatment. It's a remarkable achievement that really underscores the quality of, scientific research happening in Turkey.
A Nobel Prize winner. I mean, that's truly impressive.
Yeah.
It speaks volumes about their scientific talent and potential.
And it's not just individual brilliance, though. Turkey is also home to some world-class universities and research institutions that are making important contributions in a variety of fields, from biotechnology to renewable energy.
It's like they're investing in a knowledge-based economy that can compete on the global stage.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a smart strategy, especially in today's world where innovation is key to economic growth and progress.
Exactly. They're building the foundation for a future where science and technology play a central role in, their national development.
So from ancient temples to space exploration, Turkey's story is full of surprises. They've got this fascinating blend of tradition and modernity, this rich cultural heritage, and a growing presence in the world of, science and technology. It's a dynamic country that's constantly evolving and challenging perception.
And we haven't even touched on their contributions to sports. They've got world-class athletes in everything from soccer and basketball to weightlifting and wrestling.
Right. How could we forget Turkish soccer? I mean, they've got some of the most passionate fans in the world, and their national team has competed in the World Cup and the European Championships.
Yeah.
And let's not forget their traditional oil wrestling, which is a spectacle unlike any other. It's a testament to their diverse sporting culture.
It's true. Turkish sports culture is as vibrant and diverse as, the rest of their society. It's a testament to their, passion, athleticism, and competitive spirit.
This deep dive has been an incredible journey.
Yeah.
And I feel like I've only just begun to scratch the surface of what Turkey has to offer.
And that's the beauty of it. There's always more to learn, more to explore, more to appreciate about this, multifaceted country. It's a place that constantly surprises and challenges you to expand your understanding of the world.
Yeah, it's like you're walking through a living museum. Everywhere you turn in Turkey,
Yeah.
You got ancient ruins, Ottoman palaces, bustling bazaars that have been operating for centuries. It's almost too much to take in.
It's a true sensory overload in the best possible way, you know? And what's remarkable is that even beyond those famous sites, there's hidden gems tucked away in every corner of the country, just waiting to be discovered.
Wow.
It's a place that rewards curiosity.
Okay, I'm officially convinced. Turkey is going straight to the top of my travel bucket list. But before I book my flight, any final insights you want to leave our listener with about Turkey?
Well, I think it's crucial to remember that Turkey is a country in constant flux, you know? It's society navigating this complex web of transitions, both internally and on the world stage.
Right, we talked about that balancing act between East and West, tradition and modernity.
Right.
You know, the opportunities and the challenges they face, it's like they're constantly recalibrating their position.
Exactly. And as Turkey continues to evolve, its role in the region and the world will undoubtedly shift as well. It's a country to watch, a nation with the potential to, be a major force in the 21st century.
So for our listener who's now absorbed all these, fascinating facts and insights about Turkey, what's the one key takeaway you want them to remember? What's the essence of this deep dive?
I'd say it's this. Never underestimate Turkey. It's a country with a deep and complex history, a vibrant and diverse culture, and a people who are resilient, adaptable, and determined to make their mark on the world.
Well said. It's been an amazing journey.
Yeah.
And I feel like I've only just begun to appreciate the depth and complexity of Turkey.
And that's the beauty of a deep dive, you know? It's about sparking curiosity, opening up new perspectives, and inspiring a thirst for knowledge that goes beyond the headlines. It's about getting a glimpse of what makes a place and its people truly unique.
So for our listener, who's now ready to embark on their own exploration of Turkey, what's your parting advice?
Go with an open mind, a curious heart, and a willingness to embrace the unexpected. You know, Turkey will surprise you, challenge you, and ultimately leave you wanting more.
Beautifully put. It's been a pleasure diving deep into Turkey with you. And to our listener, we hope this deep dive has sparked your curiosity and inspired you to learn even more.
Until next time, happy exploring.